Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting reading from Papa's Comic Books and Coffee. Today, let's see who decided to jump into the room. Well, look at that. Justice League of America, number 130. It was 30 cents back in 1976. This is by Martin Pasco and Dave Dillon. It's called Skyjack at 22,300 miles. As always, if you're interested in this book or any other book, they are available on my eBay webpage, papas-comic-books. Okay, let's see what we have. Presenting an untold tale from the casebook, Justice League of America. Once again, we declassify another heretofore top secret account of an amazing Justice League adventure taking place several years ago when the JLA abandoned its mountain retreat for a new headquarters, a satellite citadel in fixed orbit 22,300 miles above Earth. But a fixed orbit mattered not when the satellite became a starship racing into space towards an unknown destination, its reluctant passengers the victims of a skyjack at 22,300 miles. The alien has already taken control of Flash and Hawkman. We've got to stop it before it gets to us. Dusk pants the steel towers of Manhattan in shades of crimson, and the rush hour traffic below is oblivious to two boldly clad figures atop a 3rd Avenue office building. When you radioed me last week to find out the vibration frequency at which solid matter becomes invisible, Hawkman, you didn't bother telling me why you wanted to know. Now you drag me to New York without as much as, "Stop, Flash, or you'll collide with an invisible object directly in your path." Huh? What's this about? I will explain, but I must first activate my JLA signal device at a special frequency, causing that cylinder to stop vibrating and become visible, see? Okay, so now I know what you needed the information for, but for the love of Mike, what is that? You don't know? It's the transport device to our new headquarters, a satellite in fixed orbit, 22,300 miles above this very location. Wow, I missed one case and you guys moved to a new address? Why? When our former mascot Snapper unwittingly betrayed us, the Joker gained entrance to our mountain sanctuary disguised as the Batman. Yes, I was there. So get to the point. Well, this is a Thanagarian teleporter unit. The only way to get up to our new satellite headquarters, actually, it's a relatively beam system rich. But let us leave Hawkman's discourse on his home world's technology and turn our attention below to 2 floors down. To the New York branch of Star Laboratories studying a shipment of moon rocks collected and recently completed Apollo mission. $5 Bill. Let's call it a day. Right. The Starmen had kept the rocks in a vacuum chamber to prevent possible contamination, unaware that the airtight enclosure could not seal out the effects of Earth's atmosphere and gravity upon the unknown life form that dwelt within the rock. And contrary to the popular expression, what you don't know can not only hurt you, it sometimes can hurt you permanently. So sensors in the teleporter cabinet scan your retinal pattern and brainwaves and check for a match with data programmed into the computer headquarters. Then, and only then, will you be beamed up to the satellite. Sounds like a foolproof safeguard against intruders. The maintenance of the entire satellite is coordinated by the supercomputer built by Superman, Green Lantern, and myself. We duplicated components of the computer in Superman's fortress and the data processing system aboard my spacer to produce a thinking machine unlike anything in the universe. The finished product, a blend of Thanagarian and Kryptonian technology, was so large we had to build a satellite around it. The computer experiment is the reason I asked you here. Superman plans a series of tests, and it needs our help. So, forgive me if I seem a little slack-jawed, Hawkman. I'm still awed by it all. This security system you've designed is ingenious. Finally, a headquarters that is 100% impervious to enemies. Huh? What's that? And that instant, 22,300 miles skyward, there might still be a few bugs in our homemade computer system, after Krypton and Thanagar had different ideas on how to build one. Now then, you'll notice on the floor plan that there's a computer terminal on each of the 5 decks of the satellite. Holy moly, look at that thing. Floor plan Justice League satellite. Look at all that stuff. I can't read all that stuff. Plus, a 6th in the outer rim storage chamber. Each of us will be stationed at a terminal while we run a complex test program to determine the computer's decision-making capabilities. Hawkman will monitor main banks in the computer room on B deck, while Flash will check the electronic relays governing the teleporter and deck-to-deck elevator at super speed. Sounds like the teleporter bet that's them. What? Mother in heaven. What is that? Dinah, do me a favor to tell me I'm seeing things. Tell me those creatures aren't here. I'm ghastly incomprehensible, but they look like grotesque composites of Flash, Hawkman, and something. Let's bring this a little bit closer. Let's try this here. How and why are questions we'll have to shelve for now, because unless this is a sign of friendship, we don't understand our guests are attacking. Picture 2 JLAers entering the satellite, muted, transformed, however, into 3 beings. And before the others can fully grasp that fact, the heroes turned horrors strike. Faced with crisis like this, it and wondrous stalwart's reaction time is slowed a bit, enabling the creature with an alien head to hurl a bizarre tentacle at Superman. Instantly, the Man of Steel's body stiffens, his eyes blank out, and the mighty man topples like a giant oak beneath a woodsman axe, taking out 2 of his comrades simultaneously. Meanwhile, Green Lantern is faring no better against his uncanny assailant, as the being with Flash's feet dodges GL's power-ringed artillery at super speed, thus leaving the Atom on target for the blow. The terrible swiftness, the Emerald Crusader is disabled by the same appendages that struck down Superman. As the Black Canary employs her judo skills to no avail against the being possessions Hawkman's shiny torso, with battle strategy precision, the 3 invading entities join hands and, moving as one, vibrate at super speed to the deck below. With the creature's departure, consciousness returns to the stricken JLA. Oh, what happened? How? Who? So many questions, it's hard to know where to begin. Well, we'd better begin somewhere and fast. One thing's for sure, those creatures must be part Hawkman, part Flash. Right, their display of superpowers was the clincher, but how? I've got a theory. The teleporter takes apart the body's molecules in one place, like Earth, and reassembles them in another, like here. Suppose Flash and Hawkman beamed up together, and an alien entered the teleporter simultaneously, causing the alien's molecules to get mixed up with theirs, creating the invaders. Hold it, we've beamed up together. Why haven't our atoms been exchanged? The identifying data programmed into the computer isn't just an intruder precaution. It also serves as a pattern for the teleporter telling the shaper to reassemble us in. The presence of the alien threw it out of whack, confused the computer, causing it to scramble our friend's atoms. But the alien was an intruder. The teleporter should have worked on it, which must mean there's a flaw in the system. So what are we standing around for? Drawing. For those creatures are probably in here someplace. Those creatures, as you put it, are 2 of our friends. We have to be careful how we handle them, or we might accidentally kill them. but we still don't know why they're here, what they're up to. Whatever it is, it's no good. 2 of them are in B deck, messing around with the computer. Where's the third? Good question, and the best way to answer is with a search party, while the others try to stop intruders in the computer room. Okay, team, here's where we split up. Try to capture one of them. Be careful, pretty bird. If the powers they displayed earlier are any indication, we can't guess what they're capable of. I know. Honestly, Oliver, you'd think I were a child. Let's see an exploding arrow to knock you out, monkey face, and then we tie you up and ask you some questions, huh? My bow. I take it that means you don't give interviews. Huh. Suddenly, without warning, and strangely changing, Aquaman lashes out against the Green Arrow. What the? Meanwhile, only way to deal with what's his name here is with a sonic whammy and a prayer that my new power works right. I did it. I really did it. At that moment, in the outer rim of the satellite, 2 members of the aforementioned search party find the 3rd member of our terrible trio gathering up pieces of scrap metal and spare computer components. But why? We'll know in a minute, Adam. Since he doesn't have Flash's speedy feet, I can take him out with some fancy footwork of my own. That's what you think, Superman. You're about to get a lesson in fancy footwork like you wouldn't believe. Wham! Soupy will be okay, thanks to that indestructible hide of his. But in the meantime, our crazy quilt foe is escaping. A 180-pound punch will do absolutely nothing. What? I'm being pulled outside the satellite. Well, up on B deck, feel confused like I've been in a trance. Don't quite recall how Arrow was defeated. Yet somehow I do know where the alien came from. What it's doing here, almost as if it read its thoughts. I read its thoughts. Aquaman, I've looked all over this place, except the rim, and found nothing. Hey, what happened here? Never mind that, look. That Adam outside the satellite without a spacesuit. It's Adam. He'll die in seconds, GL, unless you do something. With all the speed his power ring must the Green Lantern bust the airlock in an observation deck. Those auras around the creatures protect them, but Adam's a different story. While Superman streaks into the void in pursuit of the quarry that has eluded him. Great Krypton. While I was playing patty cake with a heap of scrap iron, Adam almost got killed. It's GL's got that situation under control. And so, there's where that patchwork aliens went. They're building something onto the satellite, something I don't believe. It's a warp drive propulsion unit, like the kind used for intergalactic travel by some alien worlds I've visited. Oh, that creature's grip's super strong, crushing me. Gotta get a message to GL somehow. Mustn't let these things back inside the satellite. They're going to Skyjack it. Meanwhile, the Sea King has revived Green Arrow and Black Canary, and the trio has raced to the outer rim where, will he make it a question? If this pretty face were the first thing you saw when your eyes opened, wouldn't you? Of course, I wish I'd bigger. Getting mouth-to-mouth resuscitation through a straw isn't the same as having these lovely lips. Get into these suits. We're needed out there to fight those creatures. But be careful. The one with the alien head can project its consciousness into another brain through the tentacle thing. It instinctively senses our emotions and intentions. It knew that Superman and Green Lantern are the most powerful among us, so it blanked out Soupy's and snapped GL's will. The alien entity is from another galaxy, and it calls itself Darlu. It's here on a mission of some kind, heading for something it calls the beginning place. Oh, and by what act of God, pray tell, are you privy to these secrets? By the same one that gave me telepathic powers, I suspect. I picked up its thoughts when it projected into my mind, causing me to clout you in the computer room. Sorry about that, by the way. While outside the satellite, great guardians, it's maneuvering so that My beam strikes the yellow part of Flash's insignia. It somehow knows my ring is defenseless against anything yellow. Hurriedly, the creatures re-enter the satellite, the limp, beaten forms of Superman and Green Lantern in tow, and Superman's warning, stilled by the grip of unconsciousness, goes unvoiced and unheeded. There is a long dramatic pause, as if to allow the very stars themselves to grasp into the full import of the conquest. Then, slowly at first, the satellite begins to move. While inside the satellite, look out, it's occupied GL's mind. Oliver, don't just stand here. What do you think I'm doing, pretty bird? Playing tiddlywinks? Hold your breaths. This arrow releases sulfur gas. And sulfur is yellow. It's me again. Gang choke. I'm free. It's given up on GL's going for Superman now instead. Instantly, the atom hurls itself into the path of the thought of projectile, allowing Superman to gather his wits. Got to send that poisonous gas out of the airlock with a gust of super breath. Look at that. They're recoiling from the blast of super cold air. Dynamite, we've found their weakness, sensitivity to cold. I think I know we can separate the Darlu from the Hawkman and Flash. Let's go. I'll explain as we chase them. I've got some information about them you can use too. Dinah? For feel weak, can't breathe. Hey, fish face, when those two things were in the computer room, do you suppose? Exactly. They were reprogramming the life support system to accommodate their life form. Turn on the oxygen controls of her spacesuit. With not a moment to lose, information has been exchanged and plans have been formed. With your powers and my CO2 arrow, guys, we'll give these whatsies a cold shoulder they've never forget. They're backing into the teleporter as we planned. Okay, Canary, now. Top side, a switch is pulled on the teleporter's manual control console by a revived Canary. And as the three beings begin to beam out, Superman exhales another freezing blast. And seconds later, all that is left of the teleporter is a lump of frozen alien flesh. While upstairs, it worked. Thank God. Flash, Hawkman, they're unconscious, like they're in shock, sharing their bodies with the Darlu overtaxed them. Good thing the life support system will be returning to normal. I wouldn't bet on it. People don't look now. But we're still moving. That's an understatement. We're streaking out of the solar system. Meanwhile, come on, we better check the life support machinery. Hey, Soups. If we've just taken out the alien, how come this freaking crate is still going haywire? I don't know. And I don't care. Getting life support back in order is top priority. No time to risk using the computer. Have to make adjustments manually. Yo! Hey, man, will you quit goofing on us? And, Rao, help me. I've lost my powers. Look. Life support's been altered somehow to duplicate red sun conditions inside the satellite. That's how my powers were drained. So now, we're powerless. No way. Not as long as I have my power. GL's out cold. Looks like he's been zapped by the thought tentacle. But how? The computer. Before it froze it, the Darlu must have transferred its consciousness into the computer. Correct, Whirl. Click. My body has joined me within your thought machine. Now I cannot be stopped. The tomorrow beings shall know the beginning place. His mind racing at dizzying speed, Superman snatches the computer's voice programming microphone end. Computer, calculate and respond. When will the Darlu reproduce? And how can we stop it? No, you cannot. You must not. No. What happened? Superman, your powers have returned. How? Never mind that now. Let's go. Or Shania Twain would say, let's go, girls. Spectacle, the Man of Steel, and the Emerald Gladiator working in tandem to bring the runaway satellite to a dead stop and return it to its rightful place in fixed orbit 22,300 miles above terra firma. And when all the satellite systems have returned to normal, The Darlu seized the nearest spacecraft it sensed for satellite. Realizing after only it came aboard that it had been modified for travel, the fusion with the bodies was pure accident. The alien was a mother about to give birth. But like the salmon, it had to swim upstream in space to its origin point, its beginning place, before spawning. When it tried to stop the computer from revealing how we could prevent that, it couldn't handle GL, the computer, and life support simultaneously. The strain was too much. It passed out. I built a special cooling system into this bank to trap Darlu inside it. Each time we used our superpowers, the resulting vibrations upset the super-sensitive computer circuitry. When the Darlu possessed the computer, it corrected the flaw. To preserve those corrections, we must keep it trapped inside, alive, yet at a lower metabolic rate. So the latest member of the JLA is an alien? Far freaking out. And that's the name of that tune. That was Justice League of America number 130 from 1976. Once again, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you thought, you liked it, you didn't like it, whatever you want to do. Tell me what time it is, tell me what to do next. If you want this book or any other book, it is available on my eBay webpage, papas-comic-books. And as I always say,
that was easy.
Until next time, Papa out.